Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. Um, is it Jesse Jose? Thank you so much for being here first. Um, Sorry for the delay. Sometimes it just all comes together in an instance, um, especially um, when you're not sure. And then next thing you know, you find your voice. It's a miracle. Um, and actually, I went and had an early Christmas dinner this today. Today, I did that. Uh, Exchanged presents with a friend of mine, and since we won't see each other for Christmas, we had a early Christmas dinner, and the menu was catfish, shrimps, sweet potato, greens, cabbage. Oh my goodness, it was so delicious. Um, and then, of course, I pretty much fell asleep after eating all that, but it was really good. And I'm very grateful. And it was just the thing that I wanted. They didn't open up all their stuff, but I did open mine. And it was something that I wanted. And I was just like a bit too frugal to buy it for myself. And I'm like, how did you know? How did you know? You know those corner lamps that you put it in the corner? It's like the tall lamp. It's like about, I guess, about 4 or 5 feet high, and it changes colors. It just gives you a nice ambient glow to the room. Anyway, that's what I got, and yeah, I took a peek at it, and so too late. I already know what it is, and it is so cool. So just what I wanted, and I was just a little bit too frugal to get it myself. I was being a real cheap ass, but I know exactly where I'm going to put it. But for now, it stays under the Christmas tree. Let's see here. Baron, glad you enjoyed yourself. Hey, everyone. Cappy G, thank you so much for 47 months membership. Thank you so much for being here as well. But yeah, thank you for being a member. Yes, I did have a great time. Oh, you know what? I need to bring the slides up, don't I? Let me go ahead and grab those slides. Yeah, my only contribution to dinner was a um, ciabatta baguette. I brought bread. I like bread. So I made sure I bought the bread, especially when you eat any bony fish. I was taught when I was a kid, always eat bread with any bony fish because just in case one of those bones catch you, you want to, make sure that you have some bread to kind of get it through. So, and oh, my bread was a big hit. It was a huge hit. I was like, yeah, I'm glad you like it. As soon as I walked in, I'm like, can you put the oven on? I want to run this through there. And yeah, anyway, I had such a good time. I hated to leave, but it was getting late. So I'm just like, I um I got my squatties to talk to later. So here I am. Of course, I had to do some prep, and and I'm all prepared. Well, you know what? Whether or not I'm prepared, I'll let you be the judge of that. Bonjour, 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 Connie Beaumère. Bonjour, Connie Beaumère. That's how you say it with that French accent. Bonjour, Connie Beaumère. Yeah, you want to kind of open it up toward the end. Beaumère. Okay, let me see. Who else is here? Emerald Rodriguez, welcome. Joy Amore, Compton Cali Gal. Okay, very good. Hey, Gwendolyn Daniels. Oh, and you know what else? I really, okay. So someone asked me, someone very dear and sweet asked me, how am I doing this holiday season? And obviously, some things took a tragic turn in our family, losing three matriarchs within 3 months. My sister, my aunt, and my aunt's daughter. Um, and so it really, I guess maybe we were all just a little bit too much in shock Christmas last year to think about it as much. But I think we're starting to feel the sting of it this year. And so last night I was wrapping gifts and I'm just like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm wrapping gifts and I'm saying to myself, what are you doing? And I guess it was, I can't say it was like a voice in my head. It was my voice, clearly. And I know I had to ask myself, are you trying too hard to be normal? Are you really, you know, is this really what you're feeling? Um, yeah, I really had to stop and think about it. And I guess, yeah, I mean, I went through the I wrapped some gifts and that felt really good. It did. It felt really good. I enjoyed the whole process of it. So um I put some music on and then I kind of got into it and next thing I know, you know, it was and by the way, the packages came out beautiful. I found some Afrocentric wrapping paper. And that made it fun because, it's usually just, whatever they have at the store. But I found this beautiful Afrocentric wrapping paper. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Um, I'm going to change the background, um, to protect my privacy. Not that I not that this is the kind of place you'll find in Better Homes and Gardens. You'd probably find it in better landfills and dumps. Yeah, better landfills and dump sites, but it's home. Be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. And so, anyway, I'm just trying to find a nice neutral background so you can really see what I've done here. Oh, I think this works out amazing. So, let me do this. And I still got more stuff to wrap. Well, let me just do this. I'll show you what I've done so far. Um, and then too, some of the stuff I wrapped is kind of like, oh, I don't want to say what it is because just in case they're listening, but well, it was a couple of items I would say is more like a little gag gift. Um, okay, I can say this much. Do you ever take any items with you while you're at the hotel? I mean, stuff that you're entitled to take. I do. I do. And just for fun, I will gift those to people and just so that it's not wasted. Okay? All right, here we go. Here we go. There you go. So that's the wrapping paper. It is. Oh, by the way, those things that look like Christmas lights, that's a necklace that you put on, and you have the Christmas lights around your neck. And there's my Santa hat. I just kind of propped that up on one of the boxes. Um, but yeah, isn't that nice? Get your blessings. Um, I found the one that looked like $100 bills. And well, anyway, you can see them there. But those are the packages that I wrapped last night. Aren't those beautiful? I didn't do any bows or ribbons or anything like that. But instead of doing like just a gift bag, I had a gift bag, but I still wanted to, create some anticipation. And since she's not going to open them until Christmas Day, she was like, "Is it okay if I don't open them?" I'm like, "That is perfectly fine." And then some other stuff that I got for, the fridge. That, of course, she had to see that. And she got me some other stuff that edible stuff. So that was our exchange. But um all I can say is that a couple of those gifts are as ever, as ever, the coolest thing. Did you pick up that hint? As ever, some of my favorite things. Leg says, I understand I lost my grandma, my mom, and my brother during the holidays in 2022 and 2023. MLK, Valentine's Day, and St. Patrick Day. Wow, life doesn't have a schedule. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Like they say, not when. But yeah, I was oh, by the way, thank you for the super chat. I was feverishly rapping and singing and everything. And that voice, I said to myself, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you forcing this or are you really into this? But I think that the idea of surprising someone, because listen, I would much rather give at Christmas because I feel like if I'm able to give, then I'm blessed, if that makes sense. So I know some people say, well, Christmas is so commercialized and it's not about that. But I just like to surprise people and I like to demonstrate that I hear you and I know what you like. Or I thought about you and I thought you might like this, right? And so, likewise, she knows what my taste is. And it's just like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, how did you know? And so it's like throughout the time that I have it, I'm always going to think about, wow, somebody saw me, someone knows me. And it's not the material item. It's never that. It's never that. Um, and just like on my wish list, I put a butter dish. A butter dish. I've always wanted a nice butter dish, and I never got one for myself. And so every time I butter my bread, I am feeling it's like I feel like someone's giving me a big hug. Like, here, I thought about you and I wanted you to have this. And it's a good feeling. So I hope that doesn't come across as like being superficial or anything like that. But Christmas was always a big deal when I was a kid. And we used to have the tree filled up and stuff falling out of the living room kind of thing. And that uh, actually happened because I guess I don't think I was born yet. I don't think I was born, but my oldest brother, my parents were really poor and they could not have a Christmas for him. And so my mother made it up in her mind that that is never going to happen to our family again. And so from that point on, my mother was always very big on Christmas. So I guess that's where I get it from. And it's like, you just, I guess, have that almost like a second nature. Um, make it special. I guess that's the other voice that I hear is like, make it special, make it special for everybody. So that is that is what I was thinking about last night, and I'm really happy that until Christmas Day, every time she passes through her living room, she's going to see those boxes piled up, right? And when her grandkids come over, they're going to be like, ooh, thinking it's for them, but it's not. I'm so cruel, but it's not for you. So yeah, that's the emotions that I was feeling the past couple of days. But thank you so much for sharing that, Legs. But that is what I was feeling the past couple of days. But last night in particular, I was just like, what are you doing? And for a moment, I started doubting myself, like maybe I shouldn't make such a big deal. Maybe I should just, I don't know, retreat, emotionally retreat from the whole spectacle of it and just, I don't know, just meditate or something like that. And then in an instant, I just kind of snapped out of it. I was like, nah, I got packages to wrap. So I just kept up with it, um and then I had the nice dinner today. So that is like the beginning of, it may as well be Christmas Eve right now for me. That was the beginning of it. And then of course you may remember last year I um I did not want to put a cloud over Christmas, so I didn't mention anything about my sister. I did mention my aunt, but I did not mention anything about my sister because I didn't want to, like, I didn't want you all to worry about me, or just have that funny mood or whatever. So I just kept it to myself, and then I just figured the the number January 3rd popped into my head. That date popped into my head, and I'm just like, okay, I'll wait till January 3rd, and that's what I did. And I think it was the right thing to do because, as much as I love this time of year, in spite of everything, I still love this time of year, and I did not want to take anything away from anyone or make it, anyone who's feeling bad. I didn't want to make a bad time even worse, or struggling time even worse. And interestingly enough, um, the lady I had dinner with, she lost her mother on Christmas Day. So again, I was so glad that we could be together, before we were with our families. I'm so glad that we could be together and enjoy each other's company because a lot of her friends, that she lost, she has her kids, she has her grandkids, but they're kids, and because they're younger, I'm always going to look at younger people as kids. And of course, she's always going to look at her kids as kids. So it was like we could have our adult conversation. I don't mean like that, but just we can have our old timers conversation and have our old timers kind of, I guess, feeling with each other, as opposed to, because we grew up around the same time and we understand each other's history. We understand what the world was, during this time or that time. And of course, you could read about it, but if you have that lived experience, it's nothing more fulfilling than being around someone, um, near your age that understands where you come from and what you've been through. So, yeah, I'm glad we got together, and I think that helped me a lot, and I hope that it was helpful to her. Let's see. What am I missing here? Let me see. Okay. Is it Dag Skimmer? Merry Christmas, Baron. Oh, thank you so much for that. Merry Christmas to you. And thank you so much for being a member of Royal Sussex. Oh, thank you so much for that. Um, yeah, I am in a Christmas spirit. I am. Okay. All right. Thank you. And let me see. My sister puts a beautiful meal on Christmas night. I decided I needed to buck and get with the program. I have brought her some lovely things for her catering, champagne bucket, and glasses. I like that. I like that. Thank you for sharing that. And by the way, hello, Heather Stroud. Let's see. Didn't want to address it. I wanted to not bother anyone. My brother was killed a month after my mom passed. Yeah, I remember we if you guys don't remember, um or actually should I say if you didn't get a chance to share in the conversation, meaning of course if you have recently become a member, um the January 3rd I did a members only. I did a very short podcast, and then I got off and got back on again, and I think we were on what 8 hours that night, right? And so yeah, we shared a lot of deep and personal things in the beginning, and then it kind of opened up to a whole lot of other stuff we talked about, and by the end of it, we were deliriously punchy and tired and laughing, but yeah, I was so glad for that night because I definitely um, felt a need to share, and with everyone else sharing, that made it incredible, actually. So, and if you did participate in that night, anyone who was on that night, thank you again for being there. But yeah, it was one of the members only chats, and then somehow it opened up to everyone, and then I had to reset it to members only. So there were a lot of people that saw that one, and I don't know how that happened, but it just went back to the regular setting. Um, but yes, as always, Lex, thank you for sharing because it means a lot, I think, to all of us that we could see this as a safe space where we can share things with one another. So, yeah, and that is one of the benefits of the community. Let me see. I'm just trying to take a look at a couple more of your comments before I go on. Thank you for that, Connie Balmer. Going back a bit. Oh, as a matter of fact, you know what? Why don't I'll get the link for the members only. So if you guys are members and you want to see that one, I'll go ahead and grab the link because it's not that many of them, so it'll be very easy to find. Um, and I'll put that link up there. But otherwise, I think it was January 3rd, possibly January 4th. Okay. And it was live. You know what? I think it may. Oh, no, it's not difficult to find it. Oh, my goodness. 11 months ago, it says 7 hours, 46 minutes, and 20 seconds. Good grief. I would be impressed if anybody listened to that all the way through. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to put the link here. And I don't expect anybody to listen to the whole thing, but at least if you're interested, if you're curious, you can hear how it started. Okay. And I'm going to put that link up at the top. There we go. All right. So that was my day today. And then I got more family to see this week, so it's going to be interesting. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, I remember when that they messed up the water. You know, what a diabolical thing to do. And that happened in a southern town where they had two water systems. They had one for the white side of town, and they had a water system for the black side of town. And they deliberately, um, you know, gave water to the black community that was substandard and unhealthy. That was a deliberate thing. How does a person, you know, gosh, that was awful. I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, okay. Oh, that I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. Let's see. I've always been loyal to the Sussex squad and Royal Sussex. Well, thank you for sharing that. I really, really, really love hearing that. Thank you so much. Okay, shall we? Let me get back over here. Um, well, I'm not going to do like a whole weekend review, but Tina Brown figured prominently this week. She was the focus of everyone's attention with her revelations about um, Jane Goodall. And I think the response was vigorous. I think it was measured, and I think it was very, very appropriate. And the fact that we're not hearing much about it anymore means that it is understood that that was not cool and that in all likelihood it was not true. It was not true. I do not believe that that thing that she said, quoting Jane Goodall, who was quoting Prince Harry, I just do not buy it. I don't believe it was true, not at all. And it was a really, really crappy thing to do. Also, this Grinch, or should I say the Winch that stole Christmas? The Winch that stole Christmas. This individual, um, with the things that she said about our sweet beloved Doria, who is not a public figure. And, you know, if it were true, which of course it is not, well, why bring Doria into it? Why even put Doria's name in your mouth? Doria has not, in any way whatsoever, made any moves toward being a public figure. And once again, I compare the treatment of Michelle Obama's mother, Mrs. Robinson. I compare the treatment, and I believe that it's race is at the core of it. It was so easy for the wench that stole Christmas to believe that Doria was an ex-convict because of her appearance, because of her ethnicity. It was just so easy. It just in her head that makes sense. Never mind the vast majority of hardworking African American women like my mother and my grandmother and my aunts, my sisters, everyone, my cousins, never mind that history of hardworking women in my family and countless others. It was just easy for her to make that association in her head. No research necessary because she didn't have enough respect for Doria, a black woman. She didn't have enough respect for her to bother to verify whether or not it was true. It also reminds us that most of those so called royal reporters or impartial journalists spend a lot of time in those hateful, negative chat groups. Too much time. I learned a long time ago that the Republican Party here in the United States, they have their talking points. And as a group, they will start the morning on all the morning shows. They'll hit all the talk shows, the radio shows, and they're all on message. They stay on message. And whatever conspiracy, whatever lie, whatever agenda that they're trying to push, I can only say they stay on message. I will give them credit for staying on message. And they work as a group, they function almost like a single entity. Whereas the Democrats are all over the place. So, yeah, I'll give them credit for that. And it's the same with the Royal Rota. They are of one mind, and that mind says go after people of color, go after anyone who is of a foreign extraction, go after anyone who is too liberal, all of those things. That is their agenda for the day, and it carries over to the weekend. And here in the US, we have the weekend political shows, mostly on Sunday morning. Meet the Press, um, what is it? Something the Nation, and another morning show. All of the big three networks have their morning show rituals on Sunday, and it's all about the politics of the week. My favorite was the McLaughlin group. When I found out that what's his name was it uh, something. Well, I forgot what his first name was, but when I found out McLaughlin had passed away, I was devastated. I loved that. What was it? A half hour on Saturdays. Oh my goodness, that was like some of the best stuff on television. The McLaughlin group. Issue one, welfare. Issue two, the president. It was just the whole thing was perfect. And when he passed away, it was just never the same. But it was a great show. Okay, a guide to festive gift wrapping. I am going to have to check that out. I am trying to learn how to do that like Japanese wrap where you have it on a angle, you know what I'm saying? You don't have the paper square to the package. You want to but anyway, I saved a video and I'm going to study it so I can use that for the rest of the wrapping I have to do. But yeah, I want to try to figure out how to do that. Even though I think my packages were beautiful, but I still want to, practice. Hazel Jones, thank you for joining us. Yes, they do. They operate like a bot farm. They really do. They operate like a bot farm. So, look who made the news. That is a monumental understatement, right? The Aspen Times, since 1881, the Aspen Times, a royal affair. Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, made a special appearance at Aspen Snow Polo, seen here on the left. Well, there you go. And when they say the left, he's actually the left in that photo. Of course, he would be ahead of everyone else. That's Prince Harry. He's a very aggressive polo player. Harry is so aggressive when he plays polo. This kid almost like I can't prove it, but I do believe one day I saw him slide all the way over. He leaned all the way over and went under the horse and came back up the other side. That is how vigorous his game is. That's how determined he is to win one for the team. Harry will slide under the horse and come back up the other side. Anything to get those points. Yeah, he really leans into the game. Just when you thought you had seen all of the best images, oh, look at what I found. Look at what I found. Is that gorgeous or what? Harry won the week. You guys do know that. Prince Harry owned the week. He won it, he owned it, he recreated the week in his own image. These are some of the best images of 2025. It is quite a way to end the year. I mean, Harry has dominated the media this week. It's been very subtle, but very persistent. You got to give it to him. This guy, he's got that movie star quality. He does. He has that movie star quality. A little Jimmy Dean, a little James Stewart, um, a little oh my goodness, what is that guy's name? The one that was in To Kill a Mockingbird. Yeah, he's got the qualities of some of the biggest guys in Hollywood. But and the camera loves him. The camera loves him for someone who Gregory Peck. That's it. He's given me that Gregory Peck kind of energy. So yeah, he's got it all. He's got it all. So, brother, thank you so much for being here. This morning over here, I start every morning listening to Royal Sussex. I love Meghan and Harry. Cheers for that. Thank you so much. Yes, doesn't it? It's just the pictures that have come out of this. I don't have the words. I don't have the words. Um, amazing. Amazing. Yeah, this is just what I needed for this time of year. This is just what I needed. This is like a hot toddy. This is exactly what I needed for this time of year. Go Harry. And then there's a big group shot. I cropped it as much as I could so you wouldn't miss anything. I mean, look at those guys. They're having the time of their lives. And notice Prince Harry is not trying to make himself the center of the image. Um, he gets in where he fits in. Very, very cool. I don't know why I pictured um every time I see this, I keep picturing that little bossy, pushy individual. Um I dare not speak her name, but every time I see these polo matches when they go to get on the stage, I'm always picturing someone yelling, or should I say, someone speaking to Trevor, what's his name, saying, "Well, it really messed up the choreography. It was, it interrupted the choreography, like it was some kind of Broadway musical. What choreography? You get on the stage, you smile, you take a picture." Well, it was just confusing, and then when all of her celebrity friends showed up, oh, oh, I have to try not to think of that person. I have to try not to think of that person. I believe someone compared that individual to a hammerhead shark. Yeah, I have to try not to picture a little hammerhead shark in a dress. Oh, but seriously though, that individual managed to ruin a lot of lives, and I hope that they can fix that situation. What a terrible person she is. And then there's this one. I mean, the camera just loves this guy. And this is why I tell people when you hear people say, "Oh, he should just go ahead and cut his hair." No, don't do it. Keep it. It frames his face in such a nice way, right? And I'm glad that he hasn't given in to the pressure. Yeah, I know what it looks like from the other side, but I like the way it frames his face. It has a certain warmth and it's part of his identity. So I'd rather he keep it. And if anything, I wouldn't mind if he invested in, more hair, if you know what I mean. I wouldn't mind if he invested in more hair. I mean, hey, it's 2025, right? Soon to be 2026. And whatever makes him happy makes me happy. And seeing his face framed by his hair like that, is the best way to wear it. Okay. Oh, look at the celebrities that showed up. There's Mariah Carey, and there's oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, I forgot his name. And also there's Nacho, and there's that lady I got a crush on. I think she is gorgeous. What a beautiful lady. She is beautiful. Delphine. Or is it Delphina? She is so beautiful. She's so athletic, you know? They're like a perfect match for each other. That must have been a lot of fun. I mean, any excuse to put on your best winter clothes and to go out and play in the snow. Okay, I'm trying to see the text in the photo. Let's see if I can zoom into that. It's kind of small, no promises. It says here, it was a star-studded week in Aspen, both on and off the field. Mariah Carey and Kingo Bingo, whoever that is, Mikey Madison, and more stepped out in, is that, well, it says après ski style for the Aspen Snow Polo World Championship, while Harry and Nacho took the field by storm alongside team, and then it cuts off. Okay. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I don't remember the actor's name, the one on the right. Yeah, light-skinned Harry is very handsome. Very handsome. And the camera loves him. Okay, ITV News Royals, blah, 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 blah. How well have you been following Meghan, Charlize quizzes, Chris and Lizzie? So that's Chris Ship with a P, not a T. Lizzie, what's her face? On the annual Talking Royals Christmas quiz. Play along by watching the full episode. Well, we ain't going to do that. I am going to share just a little bit of it with you. But if you all want to do it on your own time, you are very welcome to do so. But yeah, just for fun, I'll play the sound from it. Okay. Let me hope that this is gonna work. And it did not work. Okay, let me try another way.
Run the first video. Meghan Markle returned to Instagram in early January on her personal account @Meghan.
She hugs one of her children who comes.
Incorrect. Oh. And now you're out of the game. We will continue. She posted this surprise beach video, but what does she write?
Yeah. Isn't it something like
2025?
2025, yeah.
Is that we like? Yeah, and that is correct. Gotta wait for the question, Chris. There you go. She writes in the sand 2025.
She'd had a couple of goes, hadn't she? Because the eagle-eyed viewers could see that there were other
Yeah, that she
Those
tried
were
and they'd
fun.
rubbed them over. Harry and Meghan went viral again in June after the Duchess posted this video of them dancing in a hospital room. For the point, I need both the year it was taken and which of their children was being born.
So it's
We were first.
No, she was first.
Lilibet.
Yeah.
It's Princess Lilibet. So that would have been.
I'm going to have to rush you. You've got to give an answer. Got to give an answer, otherwise I've got to give it to the other team.
Okay, just take 21.
3,
2021.
2, 1. Correct.
Oh,
Okay, so that is how it, Anyway, as they said, if you want to watch it, if you want to play along, you could go to their YouTube. I don't know what the name of that. Was it? Anyway, but if you've seen it before, then you know how to find it. But yeah, so they did that. Chris Shipp, gosh, this guy looks so. He always looks so serious, I mean, he takes this whole royal stuff so serious. Almost like it's not some fairy tale thing, but just this it could be the slightest thing, like they were seen at a supermarket, and yes, they entered through the front door, and I'm like, it's just the royal family. It's not all that serious. But he takes his job very seriously. So, Coleman Domingo. Yes, he's famous for his role as Victor Strand on Fear of the Walking. Oh, that's Fear of the Walking Dead. Oh, so it's not just Walking Dead. Is that like a sequel, Fear of the Walking Dead? By the way, speaking of sequels, you guys, I have been loving Emily in Paris. I still have 2 episodes, so I'm going to watch those tonight while I'm wrapping the rest of my stuff. But oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. Now, a couple of the people hooked up. I don't want to tell you who hooked up. I'll let that be a surprise to you. But yeah, it took a couple of turns that I wasn't expecting, and it was really good. I have savored it so that I don't watch it all at one time. So I believe I have 2 additional episodes to watch. And then I got to wait again until next year? Hopefully it'll come back. Okay. Prince Harry. Prince Harry. There she is, you guys. Prince Harry. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a Nana Akua. And I really do think that this chick has flipped her lid. I'm serious. I don't think that her elevator is going all the way up to the top floor. If you ask me, someone then blew her pilot light out. She's got a hole in her dinghy. She's a warp puck on the hockey game of life. She's got splinters in the windmills of her mind. Lights on, nobody home. She is a sandwich short of a picnic. A brick short of a house. A tree short of a hammock. She is the embodiment of you know what it is? The opening of Twilight Zone. The strange, the bizarre, and the unexpected. Like, who would have thought somebody as snotty as Nana would make a big deal out of marrying an ex-convict? I can say that, right? This guy has gone to the big house, hasn't he? Yeah. I don't want to be accused of doing like those other people. But yeah, I believe she married an ex-convict, and she's made such a big deal out of it. Oh, she wants everybody to know that she's married to that guy. And I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't want to put him down or anything like that. and I don't feel like he should be held to his past forever. But I'm just like, think it through, love. Think it through. Yeah, think it through, love. But no, she wanted to make this whole big spectacle out of it. It almost looked very needy and desperate. You know what I'm saying? It was a bit needy and desperate. Now, I did not go and look at that guy's complete history, but you know what? I believe a very famous man once said, "Everybody loves somebody sometimes." Yeah, I think was it Dean Martin? Everybody loves somebody sometimes. Everybody loves somebody sometimes. By the way, you guys, Dean Martin, I don't know if you've ever really listened to that guy. He has an amazing voice. I was like, this guy is good. Love me some Dean Martin.
Reign that King Charles may never be Prince Harry. Prince Harry. Prince Harry. Prince Harry.
You see there? She is so outraged with Harry and Meghan that at the very mention of them, her jaw starts to click.
Is being selfish? I ask this Spheres of Grain that King Charles may never reunite Prince Harry. Is he being selfish? Never reunite Prince Harry. Is he being selfish? Never reunite Prince Harry. Is he being selfish?
Well. Anyway, someone probably needs an intervention. And you know what else? I want to say for about 5 minutes, she had really upped her wig game. But she's been found wanting in her character. She has taken a big slide in the wrong direction. I can't believe that she is a fan of Kate Middleton because it seems like that they either swap wigs or they trade wigs or they buy their wigs from the same vendor, a vendor who should be banned from Western civilization. But yeah, that is Nana Akua.
Charles may never reunite Prince Harry.
Oh man. There's nobody else like Nana. Nobody. And thank goodness for that. It'd be a shame if there were 2 or 3 of them running around this world. Anyway, they don't trust him with good reason. It says royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams says the royal family has no plans to invite Harry and Meghan to Sandringham for Christmas, warning their presence would be rather stressful. Slow news day, huh? Slow news day. I Am Sage says, "Oh, look, guys, we finally got the Christmas snub content. Much, much later than usual. Usually it starts in November." They dropped the ball this year. And you know what? That's true. They start very early with the will they, won't they? Will they, won't they? And I'm even of the opinion that they skipped it last year, right? But this whole idea that the Sussexes were likely to be invited is kind of laughable, but they're not doing it as often. They're not doing it as much. And aside from this article, I don't know when was the last time I've seen something about the Sussex family being invited to the balcony or invited for Christmas or something like that. Clearly, there is something brewing. There's something brewing, but I don't suppose it will be anytime soon for whatever reason they come over. I doubt if it would be for this. But that being said, we don't know until we know. I don't know what circumstances would make that possible. I don't suspect the Sussexes would want their kids in that situation. But I guess you really should not rule out anything. We might wake up one day and find out that they're at the Althorpe. We may wake up one day and find out that they're at Balmoral, or that they may have come over for whatever reason, not necessarily to be with the rest of the family. But this is something that may happen in the future. And a lot of us were of the opinion that it would have to do an Invictus. Harry wants to introduce home to his children. They're older, and who knows how much they'll remember about it in the future, but at least they would have images to say, yes, we went home and this is what happened when we went back to the UK. So I just say, whatever happens, please respect Harry and Meghan's decision where it concerns what they do with their family. We don't have to like it, but I think we should respect their choices. Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay. This is what I feel about this. I really do not want those children at any of the royal events, any of them, none of them. I do not want those children at any event. If they should come and visit, I would love for them to keep to themselves. If they are going to see the world's worst dad, I hope they will do that privately. I hope that there are no images of the children. And when we hear about it, I would prefer it to happen when they're on their way home. Is that fair? That they will have their time. And I'm saying this especially for their first outing as a family. I would prefer no images of the children, because that tabloid media does not deserve a right to exploit them. And as so long as the Sussexes are not showing their faces, the tabloids will not be inclined to share their faces. Whatever spaces that Harry want to be in with his family, I hope that is very discreet, and I hope we hear about it after the fact. It's kind of like when the president of the United States goes to, say, Afghanistan for Christmas or Thanksgiving. When the president of the United States would go to Iraq or any place where there's war, right? This is very new that the leader of the free world would get on a plane and go to a war zone, just like when President Biden went to Ukraine. I prefer we hear about it after it's over with. And that is how I would prefer a Sussex visit, that we hear about it past tense. that who, like with Queen Elizabeth, there you go. There you go. That is the template right there. We hear about it. It is whispered about after it's over. And then we have the satisfaction of seeing people like Chris Ship, angry, combative, outraged. I mean, could you imagine the look on Chris Ship? Look at his face. Could you imagine the look on his face when they say that the whole family was over and that they're on their way back to Montecito and that nothing was said to them? That is what I want. Oh my goodness, that would fulfill me in ways that I could not put into words. Also, if it causes this guy to
what they need to do, it seems to me, going forward, is build bridges in the United Kingdom, in particular, with their family. Perhaps get back onto social media in some way. Don't be so hostile. Be more open about what they're doing. You know, when they do something, we, the media, only learn about it at the very last moment. It's very hard to engage with them as a couple. And I think there's room for big change there if they want to.
okay, they don't want to. That is what I would like to hear, is that they were there. Um, Harry's goals for his family was met. It does not involve the media. And if there are any images, it's only of the adults and not the children. And that by the time we hear about it, they are being put to bed for the night. You know what I mean? They're being tucked in and read to and everything. That's when I want to hear about it, not before. I do not want it to be a public spectacle for those kids. Some doofus at Marie Claire said Princess Charlotte wasn't the only royal to influence Princess Lilibeth's Christmas card outfit. Oh, give us a break. Ain't nobody looking over there for style tips. Oh, thank you for that, Miss Z. You got that right. I mean, come on, these are kids' clothes. These are kids' clothes. It's not from Ole Cassini, or it's not from Balenciaga. These are just kids' clothes. These are not Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton. These are just kids' clothes, right? They're from particular brands that cater to kids or whatever. So yeah, that is very silly. Like Meghan would have style cues. Don't you love when they say so and so is given a nod to such and such? Meghan is given a nod to Princess Diana by wearing this. If everybody is nodding and nodding and nodding to each other, when does anybody get any work done? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay. So, what do you guys think about my plans for any potential visit? Heather Stroud says, I would love the family to visit Althorpe. I like that. I bet Charles Spencer has been to Montecito. That would be interesting if we ever found out he's been there. I do, and the other aunts, right? There's one or two aunts. Did we lose one of the aunts? But yeah, I would love that. I would love that. Thank you for that. Oh, thank you, T Mac. Let me see here. Yeah, I don't think it's so much that he wants the kids around the family, but Harry wants the kids to see where he's grown up. He wants to see them in the places that was, very important to him. And I think that that's fair. I believe that's fair for him to want to see his kids enjoy some of the places where he's has some of his best memories, and it may be a very spiritual thing. And let's face it, he may want to visit Althorpe, and go um, by his mother's final resting place. That may be part of it. Maybe there's something, a spiritual connection that he feels, and and that's just something that he needs to do, even if it's only once in a lifetime. So there may be that. There may be that. Josephine, let's see here. Hello to all loving members of this great and powerful platform. I wish all a wonderful Christmas and prosperous and blessed new year. Although I am not a member of this platform, I love you all. Great job. What, you are a subscriber though, right? We love subscribers in equal measure. So thank you so much for that, Josephine. And thank you for being here with us. Let's see. Nana thinks she's Meghan by marrying a former convict. It was the best she could do. He is white, and for her it is the only thing that counts. It gets her to be more like Meghan adjacent. Yeah. Um, well, they say opposites attract, so um I don't want to believe that she has infantilized her husband, and likewise he, has those feelings toward her. I just hope that they have, and I hope she's happy. I really do. I hope she's happy. Maybe if she's happy, she'll lay off of other people that, you know, that she has been so rude to. But yeah, I hope she's happy. Um, Nana's been trying to be famous for a long time, and the most notoriety she's ever gotten was, doing exactly what she's doing right now, and that is pretty pitiful. But yeah, she has been working on being famous for a while, and I guess for someone like her, this is as big as it gets. This is as good as it gets, which is pretty pathetic. I mean, I think we all know why she's there. Okay. Let's see. Lilibet's christening. All the Spencers went to Montecito, and Godfather brought in a true gospel choir from the hills of Georgia by the way of Atlanta. Okay. Also, all the Spencers went, huh? I didn't realize that. Oh, that's interesting. Um, Desperate times calls for desperate measures. I repeat, desperate times calls for desperate measures. Unemployed Italian man dresses like his dead mom to get $61,000 pension per person. I mean, per year. Per year. Well, mother of Mrs. Doubtfire, what the hell is going on in this world? Are we looking at Mrs. Doubtfire? Or is it Miss Delphine? No. Mrs. Delphine, no. this individual was so desperate for his mom's pension that he literally put on her clothes or somebody's clothes and committed a fraud. That sounds like that sitcom from Norman Lear featuring the actress B. Arthur. And then there's fraud, and then there's fraud, and then there's fraud, and then there's fraud. Lady Giuseppe had a foolish son who he used to dress up in her clothes. When she passed, he needed some money. So he said, I can dress like mommy. Oh, man. You know, I just made that song up. But yes, he needed the money. Went and bought himself one of those Sheen wigs. He went on Sheen or what's one of those other sites? Went on there and bought himself. No, he went to the Dollar General, Dollar Tree, and found they had wigs one week and just decided to shake it out and put it on. It is kind of weird that they look so much alike, right? Well, anyway, someone from the bank became suspicious. Now, I would love to tell you that this is an isolated event, but this has happened before, at least once that I know of. And it happened in New York, of all places. A pensioner, a senior citizen, passed away, and her clever, larcenous son decided that when he was making arrangements, that he would give the funeral director, the undertaker, he gave them her social security number, but he gave the last number was one off, right? So he substituted a fake number for the end of the, thing. And because of that, when the funeral director billed the insurance company or whatever, notified the government, Social Security, they did not catch it. And so for years, this man went to the bank with his so-called caretaker dressed as his mother. So it was a whole nother thing just like this. And then one day, someone at the bank got a bit suspicious. And well, anyway, and the thing is, the guy's mother had died years ago. So I believe by the last time he went to the bank, his mother would have had to have been in her 90s, right? How long did he expect to get away with that? So, yeah, he went to the bank pretending to be his mother, just like this guy went to collect his mother's pension. And, well, eventually he got caught. And the guy who, the New York case, the guy who walked into the bank as his caretaker actually was pretending to be the son, right? So he was pretending to be his mother, and his friend was pretending to be his son, his mother's son. So what people won't do for money, for the love of money. Temu, yes, a wig from Temu. Anyway, let me move on, because if I leave this image up here, next thing you know, this person is going to haunt your dreams. And we don't want that. Let's see. Denise Marcus says $61,000 is more than Social Security yearly. Social Security is $800 monthly. Well, this is an Italian, and I don't know how they come up with, but it's in euros. So if the value of the euro is a little higher, that is a lot of money, though, isn't it? That is a lot of money. I mean, there's people that work every day that don't make $61,000 a year. But yeah, they did the conversion into dollars, and that's what it comes out to. Very creepy. Very, very creepy story. Now, once you find Woodstock, you can share this image. Can you guys find Woodstock? If you are a fan of Charlie Brown, you know that Woodstock is a bird. So if you're not a fan of Charlie Brown, if you never watched Charlie Brown, just so you know, Woodstock is a bird. Can you find Woodstock? Can you find Woodstock? Anybody? Woodstock? Yes, he's in the sink. Very good. Woodstock is in the sink. Oh, by the way, I cropped it so if you needed a closer view. Oh, someone else got it in the sink. Yes. Okay, 3 of you all got it. Very good. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Someone said the picture spells love, and now I can't unsee it. Do you guys see it? So this is love. Mm-hmm. And this is love. So this is what love's about. Ba-do-do-do, la-da-da-dee. I forgot the words. Oh, mercy me. So this is love. Ooh. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, a rare bottle of champagne from the 1981 marriage of Prince Charles to Lady Diana Spencer failed to find a buyer when it was auctioned in Denmark on Thursday. They couldn't find a buyer. I didn't know that you can keep champagne around for, what, 40 years, 45 years? I thought you had to kind of drink it. But I guess if it's unopened, it doesn't matter. But that is Dom Perignon, and nobody wanted it. Go figure. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. Nobody cares. So, a rare bottle of champagne from the 1981 marriage of Prince Charles to Lady Diana Spencer failed to find a buyer when it was auctioned in Denmark on Thursday. The magnum of the 1961 Dom Perignon vintage went on sale at the Brun Rasmussen auction house, and it was estimated that it would fetch between 500,000 to 600,000 Danish kroners, or 78,000 to 93,000 US dollars. But the special edition bottle of one of 12 for the wedding at St. Paul's Cathedral in London was listed as not sold on auction website. The bottle belonged to an anonymous private collector. Prince Charles is now King Charles III and Britain's head of state. He and Diana separated in 1992 and formally divorced by 1996, a year before she died tragically and mysteriously in that tunnel in Paris, to the likes of which there's absolutely no reasonable explanations, except someone went to great pain to make it look like it's an accident. Have I said too much? Oh, it says here, champagne for their wedding has not always proved a hit with collectors. A Magnum failed to find a buyer at a British auction in 2004. However, 4 years later, another fetched around $12,000. That's pretty bad, isn't it? That's pretty bad. But, you know, if I was them, I would put it up for sale on Diana's birthday. What is that, July the 1st? I mean, use some common sense. Put it at one of the milestone years of her birth, or her untimely, mysterious passing from that accident in a tunnel in Paris, to the likes of which we've never received a satisfactory answer. Hello. Yes, very convenient, isn't it? Isn't it convenient? It avoids a constitutional crisis. Well, one thing's for certain. Her daughter-in-law's bubbly is selling at a very brisk rate. And, of course, I have a bottle of my own. I think I should auction mine. Auction my as ever champagne. Of course, we're not allowed to call it champagne if it's not from the Champagne region of France. But my bottle of Brut, I should auction it. Everything the Prince of Wales achieved in 2025. Learn to scout. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Or is it scoot? Scout? Yeah, anyway, that's it. That's it. That's what he learned in 2025. That's it. That's a short conversation, isn't it? Next. So, William and Harry's Royal Rumble draws in their children. Does it really? You know, guys, I have been avoiding Tom Sykes, but let's see where this goes. The season of goodwill is upon us, but according to Brer Rabbit, there's no sign of peace breaking out in the ongoing feud between Prince William and Prince Harry, which now threatens to carry on into the next generation. Okay, he's building a case here. Both sets of parents are convinced they are in the right. And we all know that Harry and Meghan are totally correct. And refuse to apologize, even performatively, in the service of peace. Is safe to assume that both sets of children are therefore subject to a one-sided account of the accusations. backstabbing, and betrayal that have characterized this family breakdown. You know, there's no revelation here. There's no revelation whatsoever. Yeah, that's just, anyway, so far nothing. A big fat nothing burger. The Daily Beast Royalist has heard that no Christmas presents or cards are exchanged between the children. Harry, we have been told, has sent Christmas and birthday presents to the Waleses' children in the past, but is not sure if they were passed on. That's interesting. The first I've heard that. It's an issue that has come into focus as both Prince William's kids, George, and Harry's children, Archie and Lilibet, are publicly introduced into their respective family charity businesses this week, with both sides no doubt keen to cash in on the season of goodwill to start positioning their kids as their inheritors. This is a bunch of fluff. Meghan and Harry went first in a statement on their Archwell website. The couple revealed the organization was being rebranded as Archwell Philanthropies. Okay, bit of a rebranding. Accompanying the rebrand was a striking line, the charitable entity that said would allow the couple and their children to expand upon their global philanthropic endeavors as a family. Okay, well, you know what? He's got a point there. He has a point there. I didn't really pay attention to that, but it is directly mentioning the children in association with their charity, which is fine. The implication that children as young as Archie and Lily, ages 6 and 4, are already participants in global philanthropy and are looking forward to getting more involved in is absurd, grandiose, and self-important. The duo are probably more interested in laughing their heads off at yelling the word poop. It's also raised serious questions about who is advising Meghan and Harry on whether they are being listened to. Okay, Tom Sykes. Here we go. Princess Diana introduced her children to charities at a very young age. Doria, the queen of everything, Doria, introduced Rachel Meghan Markle to philanthropy, to charity, to humanitarian work at a very young age. What is the difference about Harry and Meghan, or even William and Kitty? What is the difference whether or not they introduce their kids to charity at a young age? But here, Tom Sykes, who has become increasingly biased against the Sussexes, he's building a case against Harry and Meghan, much in the same way that Camilla Tominey did when she accused Meghan of saying that Archie is a voracious reader, when Meghan said Archie has a voracious appetite for books. Meghan did not say that he read books. She said that Archie would say, "Read it again, mommy, read it again," right? And so Camilla Tominey lied on this morning and said that Meghan must think her kids are genius, that she must think Archie's a genius. I don't know a kid at 3 years old that is read a ferocious, what anyway, you get what I'm saying. So here, Tom Sykes. Let's fast forward to Tom Sykes. The implication that children as young as Archie and Lily, ages 6 and 4, are already participants in global philanthropy and are looking forward to getting more involved is absurd, grandiose, and self-important. It's a family business, just like the monarchy is a family business. Doria made sure that her daughter was involved with feeding hungry people, that her daughter at a young age spoke up against the war. And I think, what was she, 13? When she protested the war in Iraq. Meghan is true to this, not new to this. So why is it so far-fetched that the children would participate with their parents? No different than when Harry and his dim-witted, stupid, lazy, irresponsible brother, when they would go and do charity. What's the difference? Regardless of the age, what's the difference? If you want your kids to have a sense of fair play, then you teach them what it is to be a good sport. If you want your kids to be polite, then you teach them how to talk to people, how to move around in spaces with other people. If you want your kids to become a philanthropist, if you want the kids to continue your good work, it doesn't matter the age. You introduce them. This is what mommy does. This is what daddy does. You see how you can take something, or should I say how a Tom Sykes can take something as innocent as introducing the children to their charitable side, to their philanthropy, and he makes it into something grotesque. It's an accusation that the Sussexes are in some way ruining their children's lives or something. Did he even think about that? Does he have children? Or does he only see the royal children? Both Harry and his brother has said that at a young age, their mother would take them to McDonald's and make them stand in line like everybody else. That she would take them out and show them this is poverty, this is homelessness, so that they can see how other people live. Why is it all of a sudden not this great thing that Diana was doing, but it's become this horrible thing that Harry and Meghan are doing? That, if you ask me, that is grotesque. That opinion shows someone who's grandiose, that we should assume that they're right about something like that. And what was the other word? Self-important? Well, again, Tom Sykes is being very self-important by judging the Sussexes on how and when and where to introduce their children to the family business. You know what? I'm done with that one. Oh, no, I'm not. You know what? Let's continue. Publicly, positioning very young children as active participants in a global philanthropic enterprise without them having any meaningful say in it is also, of course, something the royals do a lot. On Saturday, Prince William thrust his son and heir, George, fully into the limelight for the first time as photographs and videos were released of George making Christmas lunch for the homeless at London shelter, The Passage, a favorite cause of Princess Diana's. Strategically, the idea of George 12 helping out at the Passage for an hour or so is easier for us and him to understand. Oh my God, this guy. Than a diluted statement suggesting a 4-year-old is already a global philanthropist. The royalist recalls caroling at Christmas to raise money for the homeless at about that age. It's a cause that to a child is perhaps deceptively easy to understand, especially at this time of year, because the immediate demand shelter is both straightforward and of a piece. And of a piece with the nativity story. Okay. Notably, Harry and Meghan took their kids to do something similar ahead of Thanksgiving when the family spent time preparing meals for the Los Angeles community with Our Big Kitchen Los Angeles. Meghan shared snaps of the experience on her Instagram, including one of her smiling and holding Lilibeth's hand as Prince Harry poured ground beef over rice into a container. However, because the children's faces were obscured, oh, now we get into it, as part of a worldwide privacy tour, the image didn't really have much impact. The hell it didn't. Certainly not the impact that the crystal clear footage of photos of William, George. Oh, by the way, do y'all remember when Kate took William, I'm sorry, not William, but George, Charlotte, and little tiny Louis to that food bank, clothes bank, or whatever, baby bank? Remember that? Louis is not much older than Archie. Anyway, it was notable that Meghan posted most revealing images of Archie and Lilibeth on the very day the charity rebrand was announced. It is now undeniable that the royalists, meaning Tom Sykes, has long argued that the Sussex children's faces are being revealed incrementally as a powerful promotional tool, stoking interest and attention at pivotal moments, such as this announcement that Archie or Archwell is not a conventional charity, but a heritable brand driven enterprise. Archie and Lilibeth are being eased into their role as components of the Sussex brand before our eyes, every bit as much as George is, and they will surely be fully unveiled to us soon in service of that cause. Okay, so if this sounds like talking points from Kensington Palace, I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised. Tom Sykes says that he was kicked out of the WhatsApp group. He's talking to somebody. He is talking to someone, and it seems to me like that someone is at Kensington Palace. I really do believe that these are Kensington Palace talking points. the idea that Archie and Lily are too young to understand, there's an argument to be made for that, sure. But there are images that were taken where Archie and Lily are clearly visible, but those images are in possession of the family of the Duchess of Sussex and Prince Harry. Those images may never be seen publicly. Those images may be for the future of the family. And if in the future Harry and Meghan decide to share those images with their children, that's their business. This is a family business. This is what Harry intends for his children to inherit. This is what Meghan intends for her children to inherit. This is our legacy, which will be their legacy and their children's legacy. And they are going to record it along the way, and they are going to share it with them from a very young age. Like they say, a family that prays together stays together. Well, a family that volunteers together stays together. It's just as simple as that. There's no wrong here. They're doing it the way they want to do it. And if Tom Sykes has a bug up his behind because he can't see the children's faces, then that's his problem. That is none of his business what they're doing. He doesn't get to say. The picking at the Sussex kids is going to get more negative. They're testing the waters. Thank you, Mary H. Thank you. They are testing the waters to see how far they can go slandering kids. Exactly. This is a test. This is a test of the emergency shady broadcasting. Yep, just like they used to say back in the day, this is a test of the emergency broadcast system. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Let me see. Maybe royal children at that age are just stupid and no. And don't know their mother from a broomstick. Woo! I love it. I love it. Thank you for that. And you know what else I love? I love this. Hi, Baron and Squatties. In my former church, the lead evangelist was out at night ministering to the homeless. He was surprised to see Diana and her boys speaking to the homeless. He spoke to her about Jesus. Diana was amazing 2 weeks after Diana died. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you so much for the super chat. And but yeah, you make an excellent point. You make an excellent point, and thanks for sharing that, because you don't hear so often any eyewitnesses or even, accounts from people that actually has seen Diana or spoke to her on occasions like that. So thank you for sharing that. But yeah, it's just unfortunate, the vitriol and hostility toward the Sussexes. They can help a lot of people. They have helped a lot of people. And there will never be enough people in this world to help people that need help. People that are in need people to help. even if it's just a hand up instead of a hand out. People need help. People need to be seen and heard, not hidden behind, walls, or not sleeping out in tents if at all possible. Um, and this is very irresponsible of Tom Sykes to even say such a thing, but I do believe it's true that they're testing the waters to see what they can get away with. Also, I believe that this may be very well on behalf of Kensington Palace. Katem says, Baron, they need to be stopped in their tracks for going after children. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, what is that? Camilla Tominey. Oh yeah. Meghan, just like other parents want to believe their children are geniuses. Um, I find it hard to believe that Archie is a voracious reader. And that is not what Meghan said. But she was so busy trying to gotcha. Aha, gotcha. That she didn't even listen to it. Or if she did, she was hoping to just tell half of it and that nobody would catch it. Nobody would notice the difference. And it's the very same thing that she did with the Meghan made Kate cry. It was the very same thing she did with the oh gosh, what was the other one? I mean, she keeps lying about stuff. Oh, the thing, Archie, Harry, and Meghan does not want Archie to be the Earl of Dumbarton because it has the word dumb in it. And what's so stupid about that is that Harry is the Earl of Dumbarton. Archie will not have to face Earl of Dumbarton until, who knows, another 50 years from now. That's when he'll have to worry about that. But if Harry has accepted that title, then we all know that title goes to his son. But she said that as another one of those gotchas or aha moments. And she's just so anxious to be right about something. Well, yes, a broken clock is right at least twice a day. In her case, she doesn't even have that many occasions when she's right about something, but she just makes up stuff. And then when you catch her out, she gets this look on her face. I don't. Yeah, when you catch her, that's what she does. Because she's obsessed. She is obsessed with Meghan. Totally obsessed. Those are the signs. Those are the signs. Yeah, they really need to leave those kids alone. You know, a few times the when the Welleses used to be the Cambridges, when they have taken the kids out, those kids seem to not look comfortable around people. Remember when Kate took them to Wimbledon? Remember when they had that encounter with that handicapped kid, that disabled child, how they were staring at him? They looked like they were afraid to speak to the child. Because listen, Archie and Lily are going to be very public figures. They do not have a choice. The media is not going to allow them to have a private anything. There's always going to be interest in the cool California cousins, and they will do their best to compare Archie and Lily to their cousins. It is very important that those kids know how to move around people. They have to know this. When I worked in retail, parents would encourage their children to interact with me or anyone else. And I understand why they do that, because they want their kids to be able to speak up, to use their voice, to not be intimidated. They want them to understand the value of money, whatever the case may be. And you are a part of that experience when you work in retail, depending on what you're doing, of course. And I think it's brilliant. So the Sussex children will inherit the Archwell philanthropies. And when that happens, they will understand from a very young age how it works, where the money goes, what do they do with the money. And they're going to learn it from mommy and daddy. Thank God nobody has to learn anything from Brer Rabbit. Brer Rabbit Tom Sykes. Oh, what a disgusting man. So that let me see, Baron, it helps children to have social skills. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me see. As a parent, you speak well of your children anyway. Yes, absolutely. The Sussex children will be guided by their parents appropriately into the things they do to help people. Yes. Yes, it is going to be very second nature to them. You know, little John Kennedy, John F. Kennedy Jr., John Kennedy. You remember how the press never left that kid alone. They pursued him more so than his sister. And why did they go after John Kennedy Jr.? Why did they go after John? Because he grew up to be very tall, very attractive, and also because he was the son of President John F. Kennedy. Perfect to sell magazines. He was so blasé. Do you ever see those images of Keanu Reeves riding the train, walking down the street? Keanu Reeves has been famous since he was a teenager. He has been famous probably for as long as he could remember. He's been famous. Keanu Reeves routinely interacts with people, and it's not awkward, it's not uncomfortable, and people may or may not know who he is, but definitely he has earned respect because of the way he moves around people, giving up his seat to a lady on the train, um, you know, giving someone directions on the street, whatever. He doesn't walk around like he owns the town. This is a man probably worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And he's a very normal person. And I'm sure that that is what they want for the Sussex children. And I'm sure that that's what those two lazy people want for their children. They want their children to move about this world as normal as possible. But it's become an issue because the Sussex children are learning about philanthropy at a young age. I mean, I would like to think that at a young age, I understood what the Red Cross did. I would like to believe that at a young age, I understood what the March of Dimes was. I want to believe I knew what those people would do. I knew that they helped people at the very least. Yeah, there was an incident where John Kennedy, I think he was sitting or walking or something, and a photographer dropped their lens cover. Their lens cover fell to the ground. And without breaking a beat, he just picked it up and he handed it to him like anybody else would do. He didn't keep walking. He didn't try to use this as a way to get away. It was very matter of fact. The press is there. They're always going to be there. Now, I think he handled it, at least publicly, he handled it very well. But his wife, oh my God, that poor woman, they put her through hell. The press put his wife through hell. And she had no way to be prepared for what was coming. And she wasn't royal, but she married American royalty. So we've seen, and listen, you guys, I promise you, I'm not trying to be critical of the Wales kids, but we've seen those kids in public looking absolutely terrified. We've seen their reaction to this wall of cameras flashing at them. I mean, I could show you some pictures where it looked so bad that you almost want to cry for them. But that is their life, and it will never not be who they are. And so I believe that Will and Kate are actually a little late to the party, that they should have been introducing George a little sooner than they have. It looks like, I mean, I still don't think they've done enough. I hate that life for those kids. I hate that for any child, but that is the reality. Now, George looked more relaxed this last outing than I've ever seen him. But a couple of years ago, his fists were balled up, his feet were turned in, and his head was down. So somehow it seems as though he's overcome the worst of it. And I wish those children the best. I hope that they have the strength to deal with whatever is coming their way. And I also hope that those children will be much better human beings than their impossible parents. Two of the worst, laziest, ignorant, most irresponsible people that has ever drawn a breath. I hope they turn out a hell of a lot better than those two. Let me see. It's a shame, but not too shocking given the Waleses. But they are already afraid of the Sussex children overshadowing the Wales children. Oh, you know what? I didn't think about that. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. It's almost like this is a response to Archie and Lily, um, becoming more visible, but still somewhat anonymous because, they don't share their faces. But yeah, I mean, I can understand that some people will say, oh, well, you don't want the children photographed, but yet you keep bringing the children out. But the children are going to have to learn how to deal with the public. They're going to have to, they don't have a choice. They're always going to be a curiosity. They're always going to be royal. They're always going to be the great grandchildren of Queen Elizabeth. They're going to be the grandchildren of Charles III. Oh, I didn't see that. I saw a video of George hugging some of the people at the homeless shelter. I was proud of him because he seemed so relaxed. Yeah, that is the most relaxed I've ever seen that kid. That is the most relaxed I've ever seen him. And I'm glad. I'm happy for him. Yeah, they don't have to be public personalities, but they do have to move in the public. That's true. They don't have to be a guest on the Tonight Show or anything like that, but they are going to draw a lot of attention wherever they go. As soon as it's understood, oh, is that them? And I just think as long as they are comfortable in their own skin, if they are comfortable with being around people, that they'll be so much better off than trying to shelter them or hide them away. So I think they're going to be very what is it, extroverted. I think they're going to be very, very extroverts. And we'll see. We'll see. But for all these children, I wish them the best. I wish them the best. And I wish them strength. I wish them well because it's a cruel world and there is social media and they're going to need to know how to move in this world. And I tell you, as a black person who's been in a lot of spaces where I was the only black person, um, I wasn't the son of a prince or princess, but there's been situations in my life where I have stood out and I needed to be sure of myself. I needed to be confident. And confidence is something that you build. You just don't naturally have it. You have to build upon a child's confidence. So I think Harry and Meghan are doing the right thing because trying to play catch up later on might be the worst possible thing. So I guess we just have to trust the process. Okay. Prince William brings George to a homeless charity around the same age that Princess Diana first took him. Okay. Now, it gets to this part where it says Prince George helped serve food at a Christmas party for the Passage, a charity that works to help the unhoused. What okay. What you need to know. You see there? Prince William showed his son George one of his most important causes. The Prince of Wales took George 12 to help serve lunch at a homeless shelter in London. And then it says the center is run by the Passage Charity, which Princess Diana took William and his brother, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, his Royal Highness Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, when they were young. Okay. Now, take a look here. During the morning of the visit, December 16th, William and George helped make care packages and baked cupcakes for the Passage's service users attending the lunch. You see that? Diana let me see, grandmother Diana and father, the palace revealed on Saturday. Okay, they revealed this on December the 20th, but this actually happened December the 16th. And you see up there, oh my God, you guys, George visited a homeless charity 4 days ago, and they just publicized it today. Wow. How long were they going to hold on to this? I repeat, how long were they going to hold on to this? Now, if you want to say for security purposes, well, sure, you could have said something later that night after they went home safe to their beds. But this time they waited 4 days. They waited 4 days. Why? Now take a look there on the left side. Prince George helped serve lunch at a homeless shelter in London alongside his father, Prince William, on December 16th. You see it here. Same article, need to know. But if you go back here, what happened to it? Huh? What happened to it? Why isn't it here, but it's there? Why is it gone from the original, which is this one? You want to know why? Because the calls are coming from Kensington Palace. The calls are coming from inside the house. Somebody at Kensington Palace probably called People magazine, allegedly, and told them, listen, don't put that in the need to know. Don't do it. And maybe they overlooked the fact that it says the same thing right here. During the morning of the visit, December 16th. Okay? That's all. That's all. Why would they do that? This is why. I believe they were trying to keep an ace up their sleeve until the absolute opportune moment to try and upstage the Sussexes. That's why. Also, you guys, what is the name of this charity? What is the name of that charity? Because I want to show you something else that I think is very relevant to what we're talking about here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show you something. And It'll make sense when I do. Trust me. Hold on. Okay, sorry for the delay, but I just want to share something that I saw a while ago. Where is it? Oh, okay. Let me find a better picture than that, though. This is from the place where they volunteered. Okay. Okay. Give me just 1 second. Okay. I'm going to take a screenshot here. And this screenshot will explain why I think Tom Sykes is full of crap. I'm going to show you. This is going to make so much sense. And you're going to say, oh, I didn't know that. Aha, or something like that. We'll see. We'll see. Give me just a second. It is coming your way. This is why I think what Tom Sykes said is absolutely ignorant and impossibly one-sided. You see that? I apologize that it's so small, but do you see the children helping out at the same place where Archie and Lily was volunteering? There are children their age. I saw this a while ago, and I'm glad I recall seeing it, but they welcome families to come to this place and volunteer. They have kid-sized gloves for children to volunteer at this particular place. See what I'm saying? This is why what Tom Sykes says doesn't make any sense. It does not hold water. It's not as though he wanted to make it sound like Harry and Meghan was imposing their children on this charity. But you can see clearly that there are children that routinely volunteer at the Big Kitchen, Los Angeles. Okay. Okay. Case closed. This particular charity wants philanthropy to be a family affair. Now, the fact that the Sussexes brought their own armed bodyguards is of no consequence because this is the United States and to be fair, probably half the people in the room was packing. So kids included. Anyway, I'm just kidding. But so there you go. They have done nothing out of the ordinary. This is a place where it is a matter of routine, a tradition for people to bring their children to learn how to give, how to volunteer their time, how to prepare food for those in need. And Tom Sykes could kick rocks. Okay. Yes, microphone drop. So again, I am very proud of Prince George. He has come a long way. He is not that insecure child that I worried about. I was worried about him. I was worried about him as I would worry about anybody's child. But he seems to get on very well, and he has done an amazing job volunteering. And also, I'm going to give credit to his parents for helping him through what appeared to be a very rough period in his life. But I think he's come out the other side of it a much better person. So, cheers. Now, not today, Satan. Not today, Satan. Apparently, they have been trying to persuade, this is through the grapevine, we don't know for sure, but there are a lot of random family members, royal family members, who stay out of the spotlight, don't use their titles. Example, Princess Anne's kids, Zara Tyndall and Peter Phillips, who are first cousins of Prince William, but spend a lot less time in the news. The same goes for Prince Edward's kids, Lady Louise and James, Earl of Wessex, right? They stay out of it. Zara, Peter, Louis, and James all have one thing in common. Unlike their cousins, they don't use prince or princess titles and aren't called His or Her Majesty, or really His or Her Highness. That's because their parents decided to let them make title decisions themselves at age 18. And I'm not sure how accurate this is, but it says at age 18, and according to the Daily Mail, James just had a milestone birthday and fully rejected the chance to go by Prince. I don't remember that being a thing, but okay, whatever. Per royal expert Richard Eden, good God help us if he's an expert, Prince Edward and Sophie's son James turned 18 yesterday, but he won't be celebrating by following the example of his cousins. He adds that James, who is 16th in line to the throne, will not, I'm told, be using his titles. That's more a source claims. What's more, a source claims that the title is the last sort of thing he's interested in. Meanwhile, James' mom, Sophie, told Sunday Times, we try to bring them up with the understanding that they are very likely to have to work for a living. Hence, we made the decision not to use HRH titles. They have them and can decide to use them from 18, but is highly unlikely. Okay. So it was insinuated that at some point that they were trying to get Junior here to use his titles. And I tell you, that's a good looking kid. And he would definitely have legions of fans should he decide that he wants to use his titles, if he wants to go public, if he wants to be in service to the crown. However, given the example of what they have just done to the Duke of Sussex, I doubt that he would ever consider something like that, especially with jealous, hateful, spiteful Willie headed to the throne. That would be the worst thing to do. So, if I could quote Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger in his very thick Austrian accent, not on your knife, not on your knife, not on your knife. So, yes, that's not going to happen. It would be better off if he just stayed where he is right now. Okay? Okay. And is it just me, or is he taller than his dad now? You think so? Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of this. Richard Eden, one thing I know for certain is that a lot of these royal reporters that are supposed to be so knowledgeable, they don't know Jack. Camilla Tominey has demonstrated time and time again that either she's a terrible liar or she just doesn't know. Okay? I think it's a combination. She's a liar and she doesn't know. I think we're going to finish with this. I found this. One of the squatties put together that collage of 9 images of the Duchess of Sussex. Some of those you may have seen before, some perhaps not, but beautiful images of the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Sussex. So we'll leave you with that. And once again, everyone, thank you so much for being so very supportive to one another. You've been incredibly supportive to me. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to celebrate the season with you all. And for those who are struggling this season, there is no timetable to your grief. There's no timetable to your grief. Whatever you are feeling, you don't have to pretend for my sake or anyone else's sake. You just have to be in the moment and feel whatever you are feeling. But do talk to people. Do talk to trusted people in your life and tell them how you're feeling. Tell them how you're doing. Share your thoughts about things. As I said last night, I had a moment when I had to catch myself. I'm thinking, am I doing too much? Am I trying to force myself into something that I'm not feeling? And after a while, I realized, no, this is where I am right now, and it feels good. And I'm using my memories of my lost loved ones as a fuel to live my best life, and I do this in their honor because I truly believe that our loved ones would want us to carry on their legacy, tell a joke that they shared, give advice that they shared, talk about great moments that you've shared with them. To me, that seems like the wisest way to go forward. So, for everyone who do not have any Christmases anymore, who have already had their last Christmas, I'm going to celebrate on their behalf. I am going to give and share on their behalf, for their sake, in their name. So, one of the things I did last year, I asked my niece. I said, "Who did your mom give presents to?" I said, "Well, figure out who they are," which she, of course, she knew. And I said, "Well, let's make sure that we put everything together as she would, and we just say, hey, this is what she had for you. This is what she had for you." So, my sister had a tradition of $2 bills at Christmas. She'd give the kids $2 bills. So, you get some twos, you get some twos, and you get some twos. So that's what we did. We did envelopes with $2 bills for the kids that she would usually gift them to, as though she was able to do it themselves. So that was a way of her participating in that last Christmas. And also, there was a little stash of goodies that my sister had got for me. And I told you guys, my sister used to create these elaborate boxes full of things from the Dollar Tree, Walmart, and I absolutely loved it. There would be like 100 things in a box. You just couldn't believe all this stuff comes out of the box. It wasn't about the expense. It was just about all of the treats, the hand lotion that I needed, um, deodorant, a lint brush, whatever. It did not matter. There would be a T-shirt, there would be a baseball cap, those kind of things. And I would just dump the box, put everything on the table, and just marvel at how she got all that stuff in the box. And that was always the highlight of my Christmas, was getting that box. So my niece said, "Oh, this is where, Mama used to keep all the stuff for you." And so there was my little stash that she was building up for Christmas. So I took it home. And even now I have these beautiful little, like, sandwich size Pyrex bowls, not Pyrex, but whatever off brand it is with the rubber lid to it, that I use almost every day. So it's the gift that keeps giving. Okay. So that is how I have been moving forward. But you do everything in your own pace, in your own way, and do share with the people closest to you if you feel like you are having any trouble coping, or just need to reach out to someone. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Okay. Yes, absolutely, Mary H. To speak their name is to keep them with you, to keep them alive in your heart. You speak their name. Oh yeah. After whenever Edward goes to join his ancestors, then that title reverts back to the crown. He doesn't get to pass it on to his son. Although I do believe that Sophie Wessex is actively petitioning, actively courting William, hoping that William will change that rule. She probably is hoping that William will allow the Duke of Edinburgh title to stay in their family. But William may have other ideas. But yeah, I do believe Sophie is trying her best to get chummy with William so that they can keep that title in the family. Thank you, Heather Stroud. Oh, thank you, Angela M. Thank you so much for participating. Oh, thank you very much for that. But without you guys, it would not be what it is, that's for sure. Oh, thank you for that, Sonia Johnson. Yeah. I appreciate that. Yep, thank you for sharing that. Okay, I am going to go and watch the last 2 episodes that I have ready and available for, what's her name? Emily in Paris. I want to finish it tonight. So thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for participating. Thank you, Legs and Hazel and Nolathando. Let me see, who else? Compton Cali Gal. T-Mac. Hey, Sharon Skinner. Oh, you woke up at the end. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Okay, cheers. Love you guys. See you next time.